Let's now invite BMKG Weather Prediction Division Sub-Coordinator, Mbak Ida Pramuwardani. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning,
Mbak Ida.
Mbak
Have a seat.
Have a good seat. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of questions when it comes to the weather. Go ahead, Rahma.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, just yesterday we experienced this, heavy rain, at least in my area in Pancoran South, Jakarta, and it went about like 3 hours from 3 o'clock to 6 p.m., right? So, obviously Indonesia, especially the Jakarta area, Bogor, and also Depok, Tangerang, and also Bekasi area has actually experienced extreme weather lately in the area. So from hot weather to the latest heavy rain, as I mentioned, and also accompanied by lightning and also powerful wind. Now, could you actually tell us, several factors that can actually cause these kind of weathers to occur? And it's not stable. You can't just, one day you're seeing the forecast, it says it's not going to rain tomorrow, and eventually when it's the D-Day, it rained.
Yeah, that's typical of a tropical area.
Yeah.
So basically, Indonesia is tropical region with archipelago, so it can make a very significant change day by day.
Okay.
Like maybe in the morning until afternoon, maybe the weather feels so hot or the shining so bright.
Yeah.
But after that, suddenly the cloud, especially cumulonimbus cloud, if you have already heard about the cumulonimbus cloud, it's evoked suddenly,
right?
And then after that, short after that, it become very huge and bring a heavy rain, accompanied with a strong wind, and even putting liung or weather spot.
Yeah.
And also sometimes if the condition very unstable, it can bring hail. And this is a typical of a tropical region with archipelago condition, and also in the transition period like today, we are in a transition period from rainfall season to dry season.
Right.
So this is very typical tropical region.
Is this coming a little bit late though? Is it usually this time of the year? I think it's already almost June, right?
Yes, but actually it's normal. It's normal.
We only have 2 seasons here anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is just us in Indonesia, but is this happening elsewhere in Southeast Asia as well?
Because Indonesia is very unique. Indonesia lies in the tropical region, and the geographic also unique. Indonesia lies between 2 big continents, 2 big oceans.
Right.
It's different with other countries like Philippines or maybe in the peninsula like Thailand or Malaysia. So it's quite different.
So we've got our own kind of weather situation.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously air pressure is playing an important role. So in the weather changing, these kind of time, also temperature, and also humidity from one place to another is not the same, obviously, right? Now, Maida, can you actually tell us or elaborate with us more, ways that we can actually do to fix this kind of issues that we are experiencing right now?
Yeah, actually, we cannot fix it because it's given from God.
Can't fix it. Okay, that's the main point. You can't fix it.
Yes.
But we can always, check the, what do you call that? The weather forecast, right? So as I mentioned to Paul and to you, sometimes that we can check it is not going to be raining tomorrow because it can actually, we can predict for tomorrow's weather. But obviously, as you said, it's sunshine early in the morning, and then all of a sudden it gets very pretty gloomy, dark, and then all of a sudden it rains heavily instantly like that. The changes that we cannot actually predict itself. So yes, that we cannot actually stop it or we cannot fix it. But how about, adjusting the humidity maybe?
Yeah, first of all, because we are now in a industrial era, so it can cause, if you can hear about global warming.
Yes.
Although it not directly influence the condition of the weather in Indonesia, but it's also give a indirect contribution, like maybe the extreme weather will be more frequent in the further time. So maybe we have to stop the global warming. At least we have to make the prevent the global warming.
Obviously, it's connected. There's a correlation, right?
Yes, although it's not direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to make sure the environment is good enough, like planting trees and also not cutting the trees in the forest region. So it's very useful. And after that, we also have to know the area that will prone to hydrometeorological hazard, like maybe if there are heavy rainfall, where is the area are prone with a flood maybe or flash flood. So the government, especially the local government, maybe have to make a map of the environment, which environment or which region are prone. This is important for evacuation. And after that, maybe the people have to frequently check the information for BMKG, because besides for forecast information, we also have a nowcasting. It can be it can be forecast the next 3 hours, so it's very more short.
Right.
Yeah, and also the analysis. BMKG also have a satellite imagery and also radar imagery, and it update every 10 minutes. So it can show a real condition of weather in a certain or particular regions.
Right.
So it can give you a slideshow.
A slideshow, yeah. So basically, you and your team are in the office of BMKG itself are working 24/7, right? Because
weather
in a split of time it changes. Right?
That's right. You mentioned, and we saw images earlier of what can happen during some of these extreme weather conditions. We saw roofs flying, trees going sideways. You mentioned floods or flash floods as one of the direct impacts of extreme weather. What are some of the other impacts from extreme weather can we, at least be cautious of, be knowledgeable of, other than floods?
Yeah, maybe the important message for you, maybe also people in Indonesia especially, we are, some region already experiencing a dry season.
Right.
So maybe next month, BMKG predict that next month will be a dry season for majority of region in Indonesia. So another extreme situation that we have to face is like a drought.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
And
really?
also, it can be forest fire because the atmosphere will be drier than today. So maybe the government have to take aware of it.
That is from one extreme to the other. One end it's too wet, and then the other end, if you can get too dry as well. I've never even thought of drought as something that could happen during dry season, but I suppose it could.
Regarding to this weather change, extreme weather change, if I can say so, what has the BMKG actually done to prevent this extreme weather change?
Yeah, actually, in BMKG we have early warning information. So we inform if there are a significant change of weather. We also give the early warning for people and also for stakeholders, so they can take right and efficient action to protect the community. And then we also inform by several platforms like social media, website. We also provide a call center in 196. So
196.
Yes, yes. So we are routine give the information of early warning if
the updated ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, this is what I've used all the time. I have this on my tab here, as you can see, and I also have it on my phone. It's very updated, by the way. You can tell people are working 24/7. But more importantly, I check quickly just to see what the forecast is going to be like. But there's a lot of warnings that pop up here as well that BMKG or BMKG works on. And when you get these warnings, you can get notifications, so you can see what weather is going to be like in any region around Indonesia as well. So again, guys, if you don't have the app, I believe you can go to the website as well to get all the same information at BMKG. What's the website again? Sorry, BMKG.
www.bmkg.go.id.
Go.id. Okay.
All right. So give us a rundown. What's going to happen this week, do you think, when it comes to Indonesia, especially those that are, I'm a little bit worried more about strong winds lately. Has there been any reports this coming week as to any extreme weather that might happen?
Yeah, like I said before that we mostly Indonesia region experiencing transition period.
Right.
So maybe the area like Java, Bali, Nusa Tenggara, and also Kalimantan, Central Sulawesi and North Sulawesi, Maluku and Papua in next 7 days maybe could be experiencing extreme weather like heavy rainfall in the afternoon to evening or maybe until night, and then with a strong wind and a thunderstorm. And also we also have to be aware with a high wave in the southern southern sea of Indonesia, like in Indian Ocean and also the area.
Okay. Now I just checked my phone in the beginning of the show that it showed that since nearly lunchtime, 12 o'clock, up until 8 o'clock, in the evening, it's going to, here in the greater Jakarta area, it's going to be raining.
Yeah.
So it's about 30 until 50% of rain itself. Now I want to know, how can you actually define or say it's going to be like 30%, it's going to be like 50% at this hour. I want to know, what's the calculation behind that? What method do you actually use?
Very complicated actually.
Not as simple as it sounds. The results sound simple.
Actually, first time when we forecast the weather, we have to see many data.
Right.
But actually, it's integrated in one system in BMKG, of course. So we only see 1 or 2 or 3 monitor and check the data, the analysis data from observation, because BMKG have more than 2,000 automatic weather station.
Wow. Okay.
100, maybe 200
That's
more.
collecting data, right?
Yes, collecting data and then analyze it, and then we also see the observation like in satellite imagery, radar imagery, and also numerical weather prediction. It's like a model that can show the further condition of the atmospheric parameter like wind, pressure, temperature, like you already mentioned. Based on that, we analyze it, we make a decision, we assess it, we make a decision whether maybe tomorrow will be rain or not. So it's like several minutes, maybe several hours to decide because it's very complicated.
There you go. As I mentioned, they work 24/7.
I would say it's something like calculated fortune telling, because you use all this data to compile everything and you read weather systems to try to see where these weather systems are eventually going to anticipate where it's going. But again, weather is unpredictable. Even BMKG, I'm sure things change on the fly all the time. That's why I always say, if you plan to go out and it says 50% chance rain, check again in a couple hours, because you never know. Anything can change at any time, because that happens to me all the time. Like, I wasn't going to go outside, and then I'm like, oh, I thought it was 50%, but then later on in the day, it says clear. It's all good. We're good to go. Anyway, Maida, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate this more in-depth look, because the weather has been up and down a little bit lately, but hopefully that all stays good with us here in Indonesia as well as Southeast Asia. This is Maida Pramuwardani, who is BMKG Weather Predictions Division Sub-Coordinator. Thanks again for joining us. Have yourself an awesome weekend.